You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back!
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!
Sent me a note. They said stop smoking.
Yeah.
I rolled it and smoked it.
Smoked a notice.
Yes. Yes. Hello, everybody. It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Doing what I always do. Doing what I always do at 7 o'clock. And I love it. If you didn't love it, there's no way I'm lasting 20 years. No way. Especially after it's crazy. The first 10 is probably some of the most fun, even though it was also the highest stress. Now it's different types of stress. But you had your boys around. You had a lot of people around. It was like a free-for-all. We're going to get into that stuff, especially Saturday night. It's a very big day. I'll just put that up front. I do a lot of reflecting on things one way or another. It's the little things in life that really get me thinking about everything from mortality, the passage of time, how things have advanced. And you got to be able to do that for yourself because you got to be able to pat yourself on the back. And you have to be able to smell the roses from time to time. And, take your nose to the grindstone. Always, you got to pull away just a little bit and realize, oh shit, I traveled. How many miles did we travel? I kind of blacked out there. I thought I was going in circles, but no, you've actually done a lot. Well, whatever the hell it is you do, give yourself some grace sometimes. And that's what I've been doing a lot lately, as you know, for a number of reasons. So I'll just say that on Saturday night, we are going to be getting a little bit more vibey with the company we have here. I know it'll at least be me, Anthony, and Mike, unless this damn storm comes in and screws everything up. This ice storm, I don't know what the hell it is. Just stay the hell away. It's over. It's over. February's half over. It's done. You got your little blizzard in. It's over with. Now stop. Other than that, I have some things that I want to do in the second half tonight. We're going to get into some reels. We're going to talk. I would love for you guys and gals to call in and feel free to just, Q&A and behind the scenes questions, personal questions, whatever the hell it is. I'd like to field some Q&A with you guys to kind of commemorate this, especially if you found this show recently and you want to be able to get a little bit of as much of the backstory as you can. I'll tell you one thing. On February 18th, 2006, 20-6, we still had hours to go. It's 7 p.m. We still had until, I guess it was 1 o'clock in the morning today. It was Saturday morning, February 18th, 1 a.m. So it's already over. If I go back then, but at 7 o'clock the night prior on the 17th, we still had about 4.5 hours before we left the house, me, Anthony, and Mike, and we went to Dunkin' Donuts and we picked up ourselves some iced coffee because we got to stay awake because our slot didn't start until 1 a.m. And then what was the night? Oh, I don't know. It wasn't anything too memorable, but I wish we had the recording. Manhattanville College, they never gave us the recording. They're supposed to put it on a cassette tape. And we were supposed to get that, but we never got it. And we wrote it off for a long time ago. The cool thing was that Purchase, New York is close enough to our hometown where some of our family members who lived farthest to the west, closest to the campus, could actually pick us up in very weak ways on 88.1 FM. so they can hear us do fake orgasm contest with any of the students who walked by the the 8x8 broadcast room, which was right in the middle of the freshman dormitory. It was in Spelman Hall. I think it has its own broadcast building now or something like that. Anyway, yeah, it was a fake orgasm contest. We were crazy. We gave away azo, cranberry pills, like for urinary tract infections. Like, we got to give something away. What do we do? I said, I'll get some cranberry capsules or whatever. So we give it away in case anybody has a urinary tract infection. Anybody has a UTI, come down to the radio station and you will get a free bottle of azo. What is that? What they were called? Hold on. Azo cranberry. Yeah, there it is. Hold on a second. Let me put it up on the screen. If you didn't know, now you know. Urinary tract health dietary supplement. You never know. Somebody's getting a UTI on a college campus, and they're probably suffering in silence. So why not come down to the radio station and very publicly take this urinary pain relief capsule from us? Anyway, Lauren was listening that night, and she wasn't too pleased. She was listening on the live stream from her college. I was a senior, and she was a junior. She went to Sacred Heart in Connecticut, and I was in Manhattanville. And she listened to it on the live stream on, just essentially the live link, the streaming audio. And she wasn't too pleased with that, with the fake orgasm contest and all that shit. But, we were just trying to bring any kind of attention down there and having some fun. And I'll show you some of the skits. We prepared all of these and recorded all these audio skits. We're going to do some of that in the flip side tonight. And then Saturday night, I don't want to go too deeply into all. I mean, we're going to play some stuff, but it's more so just about taking calls and trying to arrange that some of our friends of the past can call in and talk to us and stuff. That was all at 1:00 in the morning, and felt great. And then afterwards, we went to Cumberland Farms, which is kind of like a 7-Eleven, a little bit more of a local chain, regional chain. We went to Cumberland Farms. It was about 3:30 in the morning, and we picked up a whole bunch of cheese danishes and yodels and whatever the hell else because, we were only 20 years old. That didn't matter. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, eats essentially what equates to gas station cheese danishes and brownies, and you just go to sleep. And then you wake up for your 9 to 1 a.m. shift at the pharmacy. Which is what I did. I was like, I wanted to call out so bad, but no, I needed that $40 really, really bad. Badly, my friends. Anyway, more of that in the second half because I want to get something out of the way up front, and that has to do with Iran. Because we were just talking about this with Robert Phoenix last week when we were talking about this eclipse over Antarctica. I want to get this out up front. And I've been seeing from both, what you want to call credible news sources, but I would say like more professional news outlets versus those who are just kind of like reading the tea leaves and all that stuff. But I've seen plenty of people report and a few outlets, well-known outlets like RT and a few others that say that negotiations between the United States and Israel and Iran are effectively dead. As if negotiations, listen, they've got a hard-on, especially Israel. Israel's got a hard-on for Iran. I don't see, it's essentially our way or the highway constantly. A couple of bombs are dropped. You test the global temperature on how much people are going to accept this conflict. The moral implications of the conflict, who wins, who wants who to win. It happens all the time. It's like, okay, we're dropping a couple of bombs, and now we have effectively set Iran's nuclear capabilities back a couple of months when we will have to go bomb them again to set it back another 6 months to a year. I don't, all of this bullshit, I can't take it. No matter what, there's some validity. Maybe, but I'm checked out at this point. And I don't care. I don't give a shit about any of it. I definitely don't. I don't find Iran particularly scary, and the more the hornet's nest is kicked, the more there may be some kind of real repercussions down the road. We've already been living with the repercussions of our 9/11 military adventurism for decades now, and here we have this. So you get it. There are people who just really want to drop bombs, and we're over here looking at it going, when's the day going to be? Who knows the hour of this one over here? So we see that negotiations are being reported as being dead, and that it's, war is about to break out to varying degrees. The people, are saying, hey, listen, this is look at what how clean and zipped up Venezuela was. Look at the last time that Iran was bombed, back months ago. Everybody thought it was going to be a big war, and then it ended up being nothing of the sort. It was just a few bombing raids, and critical infrastructure was targeted, and that's it. Clean, in and out. Well, here we go. Getting ready to get in again. Doing a lot of thrusting. We're doing a lot of thrusting. It's not just the tip anymore. And so that's where I saw this. There's a few things I want to put together here. Escalation. This is from Zero Hedge. Iran, Russia, China to hold naval drill in Flashpoint Strait of Hormuz. Are Russia and China finally standing up to America's addiction to regime change wars in the Middle East? They appear to at least be flashing some muscle in this incredibly tense moment as the U.S. deploys no less than 2 nuclear power aircraft carriers to the region. Russia, China, and Iran have deployed naval vessels to the Strait of Hormuz for joint exercises this week. Russian presidential aide Nikolai Patrushev announced Tuesday, according to Anadolu and Iran state media. This comes as Iran's elite IRGC Navy is already in Day 2 of military drills in the vital oil transit point, having closed some sectors of the chokehold. So there's some movement going on there. A lot of naval positioning is going on. But when we spoke to Robert Phoenix, which I thought this was really interesting, he came on to talk specifically about the eclipse that was going to be showing itself over Antarctica. And he said that the Antarctic Eclipse presented an opportunity for the ritualistic timing of a war, particularly with Iran, which was yesterday, the eclipse. Yesterday was the eclipse. Had a ring of fire just appeared in the sky in over off-limits Antarctica. Well, then there's this, which I wanted to bring up tonight because last night we were talking about 4chan and Meta's Project Lazarus, as it was being called, while someone is LARPing about on 4chan again yesterday, or 8chan, about a military insider yesterday, and they said this. I posted yesterday with a 36-hour timeline. We are now in 24-hour window. Look for a significant number of Iranian leadership to be exterminated. The leadership of Iran is made up of secret council of 22 military and political leaders who meet regularly in a bunker in Tehran. One of their members is a Mossad agent. Needless to say, this group goes first. Israel knows after the last few years, this is the time to end this shit. End the shit show, and tactical nukes will take most of Iran's missile infrastructure in the first strike. Tehran will go the first wave with a false flag attack set up for Israel to kick things off. Cheers. And then finally, we get another one. Venezuela was a test for what is happening in Iran. A large part of the Iranian military and leadership will be vaporized in the opening salvos. Israel will use tactical nukes to take out Iranian missiles and their bases. We are about T-minus 3 days now. That was on the 17th. Today's the 18th. And of course, yesterday, this was the eclipse. Now, listen. Whenever the hell I start seeing the tactical nukes stuff, my eyes glaze over. It's always tactical nukes, this and that. I don't see any strategic reason for those to be used, especially since this is all about saber rattling in order to prevent neighboring states from obtaining nukes. But you take this thing at face value and you wait it out, especially when the windows of time they give you are so precise. But I asked Robert Phoenix a question. I got in touch with him because I saw all this stuff happening. Yesterday being the eclipse, and of course him talking about this being an opportune time for war. That all the alignment in the skies above really said that this is a time where war can really break out. And I asked him a question. I wrote it down. And maybe some of you have thoughts to share on this as well, so you get in touch with me. I said, is anyone, Robert, do you think anyone in these military planning rooms are saying, well, there is an eclipse over Antarctica on the 17th. We need to take advantage of that. Like, does anybody in these rooms saying, well, we have the eclipse on the 17th and that's go time. We have to capitalize on that energy. Like, is that what it comes down to? Like, I'm interested in hearing people who are, neck deep in this kind of work give me explanations for stuff like that. And I said, does that happen? If it does happen, does it happen at some higher level of planning and then just like trickles down the ranks on a need to know basis? Because I know plenty of people who served in the military, some who after their time in the Army or the Marines or something like that would actually go and apply and get a job at the DOJ, and they start working on the administrative end of things, the drone end of things, where they're actually picking targets and all that other shit. And subsequently, I just want to know about that because I haven't heard anybody else, unless you guys have seen testimony before where you have seen and heard from members of the military that say, no, I have been in war rooms where this is planned, and we're not only talking about artillery and troop placement, but we're talking about days and times that we got to go because the stars are aligned a certain way. Now, I already knew, as Robert also brings up, is that traditionally attacking during new moons has been a strategic thing of the past because you're talking about being able to do things at night under the cover of as complete a darkness as you can get, as opposed to a full moon where sometimes it's as bright as daylight. So I understand about that. Those are just naturally strategic reasons for understanding the phases of the moon and what you want to do and how visible you want to be when you're doing it. But anyway, I asked him, I said, do you know of this being the case? And subsequently, is consulting the stars mindset then programmed into AI systems like Palantir, which we know is already being heavily relied upon more and more to not only analyze battlefields, but also craft attack plans. We know that's being used in Ukraine. We know that it's being used in the Middle East. So is AI being trained to consider celestial movement just like the people who are creating the AI do? Okay? And at what level are those conversations being had? Because the average, your general infantry, I don't think anybody's consulting their star charts as far as, what the hell comes next, where you're being stationed and when you might be moving out. Anyway, Robert's response was this. Well, that's a great question, Frank. I think it's more like the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and some of these things have a life of their own, but astrology has been used for centuries. Elizabeth I used John Dee extensively to map out royal and military strategy, and between the astrology and Dee's magic, it must have worked because they soundly defeated Spain at sea on more than one occasion. Nancy Reagan used Joan Quigley, whom I met, to help map out Reagan's strategy to end the Cold War. It's the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. That's war at sea, and this conjunction in these signs hasn't happened in 6,000 years. Most military actions are staged under new moons, so they can be undetected. But now we are now in the new moon phase post-eclipse. Do they plug astrology into AI? If it's engaged in machine learning, I'm sure it's one of many inputs that are being used. Now, I had a follow-up question to that. I said, my follow-up question to this one now is, what creates the advantage? The so-called advantage that Queen Elizabeth Was it Elizabeth? Yeah, Elizabeth I. What creates the advantage that Queen Elizabeth in England was able to latch onto versus Spain in that scenario? Are not the stars the same over Spain as they are in England? Why did it lead to such triumph for one over the other and not some sort of a stalemate? Well, he said this. One side is conscious of so-called forces at work. Let's say D has the birth time of Philip II, who is the head of Spain. Philip has a chart and aspects. D could look at that and find a weakness or a hole in a particular moment in time and then align that moment with Elizabeth's aspects that would be optimal. That would be one way of boiling it down to how movements of planets affect people differently, even if they occupy the same space. I like to use 9/11 as an example. The day the twin towers fell, he accentuated twin. The moon was in Gemini, twins. Saturn was also in Gemini, again, twins. And Saturn represents the pinnacle of the chart, the highest achievement. Of course, 11, also twins, plays a role in the symbology. Across from Saturn at the time was Pluto. Pluto was extreme. Remember, you're with us or you're with the terrorists, that George Bush said. That's a Plutonian statement. And the collapse of the tower sent us first to Afghanistan and then Iraq. The twin symbolism was thick. Now, I will say this. I believe there is a power higher and greater than astrology, but the elites are into it and they use it. And that's the end of what he said. Now, what Robert Phoenix defines that power, I don't know. I never really spoke to him about his religious beliefs. I don't know if he's a Christian like me or many of you, but that last line is why I continue to enjoy having these discussions, and I'm curious about it. Because whether you and I apply this information to our lives and take it seriously is secondary to the fact that people with pull and influence and almost infinite resources do pay special attention to this and they apply it. So, I don't know. That higher power just might be Las Vegas in this case. In fact, can someone please go check the betting sites right now and call me with what you find? Is something going down on Kalshi and Poly Market at the moment? Because you know, some general's nephew is just like, oh man, I want to make it another quick $500,000 on this, just like with Venezuela. $500,000, go on a year-long vacation to Belize or something like that. I don't know where it's all going, but still. I just wanted to throw it out there because we had the eclipse that we were talking about a week prior. That happened yesterday. We had another Chan's post that kind of goes hand in hand with why not go to it again? It's not like you're not going to find a whole lot of truth on the Chan's. There's interesting stuff there. There's things to give your brain a workout. I think conspiracy theory is a wonderful exercise for the mind as a genre of material, a genre of literature, to be honest. But every once in a while you get a hit. And that Project Lazarus thing we were talking about last night, that was a hit. That was a hit right there, my friends. Anyway, what do you think about this? What do you think about anything? I'd like to talk the rest of the night about just one thing or another, getting your ideas about how things are going. And of course, like I said, I would love to really open the show up for questions about the last 20 years. I don't often get interviewed. And I think that what's really awesome about taking calls from everybody at home is that you will get memory triggering questions all the time. And I would love to just get some memory triggering questions because you don't ever know what's going on, where it all leads us. And that's why I try to trigger you guys into thinking about things so you would call in and let me know what the hell's going on. But, whatever you ask me may inspire some good thoughts and bits on Saturday night as well, especially if I can go out there and find certain things. Like I still have to go out and whenever I can get Matt back in the studio, I'd like to watch some aspect, some highlights of that Where did I put that out? It was the trial that we put him on. When we put him on trial for leaving all of those, allegedly, leaving all of those menacing messages on our cars. I say allegedly because the jury of stoners and potheads who acquitted him, they really did the world an injustice. He should have been convicted. He should have been convicted. And, you know, that time has come and gone now. But I would like to get into these things, and depending on what you guys send me, we'll be able to jump off to one place or another. I saw Shia LaBeouf is getting into trouble at Mardi Gras, and he's drunk off his ass, and he's getting into fights, and he's getting his ass kicked to boot. So I don't know if he's off the wagon or something like that. I was really appreciating his character arc going toward redemption, but of course, it is not out of the realm of possibility that we frail human beings fall and falter. It happens. It definitely does. So I don't know what this is all about. But I did notice that. Several members of the audience had sent it to me and tagged me in it last night. Also got tagged in a couple of pictures of Carla Maria Vigano on the set of the new Resurrection of the Christ movies, which Mel started shooting last July or something like that. That we're getting the new Passion movies, the Resurrection sequels. That's going to be next. I think it's going to be next spring. We're getting both of them, movie A and movie B. I think you might be getting them around Ash Wednesday or something like that, and then or maybe on Easter, maybe on Holy Week, and then 40 days later. I think that's what he's doing, is spacing it all out. Today's Ash Wednesday. I went to the 3:30 liturgy with my mom and with Aurora. And when we got there, I heard a very familiar croaking sound. And I looked up at the steeple, and there at the time, I put it up on Instagram. Let me see if I can get it up real quick. Here we go. I looked up on the steeple, and I saw this raven up there. It wasn't a crow. Every once in a while, we get a raven around here. And you know the ravens because of the way that they croak. You know? Well, I looked up and said, where the hell was it? I'm looking all over in the trees, and it's standing at one of the highest points in our town, at the top of the cross of my parish's steeple. And I was like, well, is that a good thing or what? Is that a good thing? I don't know, but it was pretty cool. And, you know, it was kind of overcast today, so you had the black crow, the black raven on the, I guess that would have to be copper. If it's that green and that oxidized, I guess that would have to be copper at the top. That was probably beautiful when it was first installed, probably shining in the sun. See, if I were I mean, obviously this wouldn't be in the jurisdiction of a mayor or a town council or something like that. But if I were able to just take control of a place, I would do things like that. I would really just, I would go into just major reinvigoration projects, and then I would even get down to little type of finishing touches on the town. What can we do? We bring the pastor in and say, hey, listen, what can we do to polish up this steeple here? I want to see this thing to its original copper glow, you know? Like, can you imagine what the Statue of Liberty looked like when it first showed up, before it got turned that green? Anyway, those are the things I was just thinking about today. But please, ladies and I would also like to say a big thank you and a big happy birthday to Shane B in the chat room. It's his birthday. If anybody else has birthdays here, you just email me, frank@quitefrankly.tv, and I will put them in my my notes. But I knew this was coming, so happy birthday, Shane. And thank you again for the wonderful design for the 20th anniversary shirt. Okay, so give me a buzz. Give me a buzz. I've got a whole bunch of reels over here I want to watch. There's other things I want to do that really caught my eye. But I want to hear from you guys, and I just want to mix it up a little bit. It's a night that I'm just thinking about the good times. I'm thinking about the times we're in now and the good times that are ahead that I'm always praying for. But it's always just going to come down to you guys and what you put in. That's what I have. And I'm so happy that we were able to get in touch with Robert Phoenix over this other stuff. For everybody else who was wondering, because tomorrow we're drawing a name for all of the super chat raffles for the week. I've got the Flip City magazine in fantastic shape. Just came in not too long ago. I love it. I thumbed through it and I put it back in the wrapping because I just love it so much. You're going to get the 2017 release of my band. We've got 3 gold backs that are coming from Quite Frankly Gold, and of course Jane Barlow's complete herbal medicine field guide. You're going to love it. Patty, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, it's Esperanza.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I quite frankly said to call in. He wants to mix it up, something new. I am a very new subscriber to this show, but I am a student of Robert Phoenix.
Oh, really? Well, what do you? What's going through your mind right now? You're on the air, by the way. I had an opportunity to play a prank on you, but I'm just plowing through tonight.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, what's on my mind right now is that this week in astrology is a really strong week. We have that. Yesterday we also had the Lunar New Year with the fire horse coming through, and there's a lot of fire energy, which can make people feel more active and aggressive. Lunar eclipses on a personal level can really stimulate our nervous system. So I just wanted to encourage everybody to breathe and visualize the active future that we're hoping for together.
Well, that's a very promising thing to say, especially when it comes to just being in the month of February. Because I'll tell you one thing, February in particular seems like one of the worst months to start anything new. It really does. February, even March to a degree, I just feel like everybody should be hibernating because there's already just I guess it also depends on where you live in the country. If you're up northeast like we are, or just at a certain temperate zone, whatever the hell it is, wherever the hell you are, if you're experiencing like a New York kind of winter, if you have that. I know we have a lot of friends in Arizona right now that are already, thinking about pulling the cover off of the pool and then starting to tan. Good for you guys. Right now, we are in the most arduous 3 to 4 weeks of the year where most people are just trying to keep themselves busy so that they do not pay attention to the seasonal desolation that's all around us. So, I think that I think as far as breathing through, and thank you for the call. It's great to have you on. That's what I just take with me from season to season. Just breathe on through. The holidays are great distractions during the last quarter of the year. And then you have January and February. They test your soul. They really do. March is when you start getting little glimpses of spring. You get a little bit of that. You get a little bit. Every once in a while, you get hit with a 60-degree day. And you feel like you're spoiled, and you just have to realize, now listen, 30 is coming back. 30 and rainy is coming back. You're not out of the woods yet. Just take the little victories. It's the hope of spring. So that's what I have for you on there. Okay, while you guys call in, I'll go back to the super chats. Flim Flam Man, 1974. It has to be Dan Schumann. He's got so many different names. Dan, I can't tell you what that means, this wonderful gift. Happy 20th, Frank. Here's to another 20. I hate this show. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Seriously. Fantastic stuff. Hold on. Well, let me see here. Chickens, let me give you a little something. I'm going to try to find you something now. Miscellaneous. Classic sound bites. Classic sound bites. Anthony scare. Here, I'll give you an Anthony scare. How about that? This is Anthony. Where's the full one? Anthony being scared by my mother while he was recording audio. Come on now. Classic sound skits. It's not a sound skit. It's not a funny song. Damn it, I just had it here. Well, I'll get it in a little bit. Either way, thank you so much, Dan. I'll get it. I'm really going to load you up with some throwback goodies on the flip side tonight. Jay Britt says, happy 20th anniversary to Zeralza and Quite Frankly. Congratulations, Frank, and here's to another 20 years. Also, happy birthday, Shane B. Yeah, man. Yeah. Zeralza. It started becoming a little bit more of a ghost from the past until this week, and I couldn't believe it. You can't believe it, how these things work out. A 20-year memory. What were you guys doing 20 years ago? What were you doing 20 years ago? That would be interesting to hear from you guys. What were you doing? Taco Talk Ho says, Buona Fortuna, fratello. Well, Buona Fortuna. Thank you so much, Taco Talk Ho. ST says, happy 20th, Frank. Shotzi says, congratulations. Looking forward to many, many more. Katie Sky says, happy Twanky, Frankie. Happy Twanky to you as well. Okay, let me see. Here's one for you. I'll put it to you this way. I was watching some of those simulated videos where people were asking whether or not, what would you do if you woke up, I don't know, 28 years ago? Something like that. You're a kid. It's the 90s again in my perspective, in my case. What would you do with that? Man, I've been doing a lot of thinking on that there too. And we've done call-in topics on things like that before, but of course, it's just starting to bubble up again. I have that bookmark now just for a little while, a little bit after this, after we go past the halfway point, along with the other reels that I want to get to. But I want to let you simmer on that as well, because that's going to be pretty big coming to come in through the calls as well. Over on Rumble, we've got a couple of people who are chilling there doing their thing. Captain Wiggle says, happy anniversary, Frank. Cheers to 20 more. For the Q&A, FMK. FMK, pest control? What? The pest control? No, I can't answer this. Pest control mat, the argue mat, or the laughing mat? FMK. I'm not doing that. None. Kill them all. I'm not. What is that question? You can ask the ladies of that of the audience that question. But very, very funny of you, and thank you so much for the attempt. Let me see here. Jay Semo says, happy anniversary. Here's to many more years and success. I had somebody ask this to me. Frank, 20 years ago, if you were able to get a glimpse of yourself right now, would you have been excited or would you have been disappointed in some way? And I said, I would have been over the moon. Over the moon. Now, where I am right now, I want to be farther. I want to be farther, much farther down the line. And I got a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of things on my vision board. I'll have to put it that way. But it's one of those things where we had a big, long, slow go of it. And I've always said this, that there are much bigger audiences out there that were grown much faster, that essentially, appeared overnight. And my audience, though it has been modest and tiny compared to others, has always been such high quality that I have been able to do some things that I've had people who have 3 times the subscribership as me get in touch with me for advice on on, how should I, build, how do I make money on a coffee? I want to support the show, can I do this? I'm looking at you with your Patreon and all this other stuff. You have all these great tiers and all that. Like people asking advice on how I can get more out of an audience that if I had 3 times the audience size, forget about it. Forget about it, because what I have been blessed with on this level that has been so painstakingly but gloriously built up, the connection that's been there. That's something that I've always been so grateful to have had the perspective on. That, yeah, I want to be miles ahead of where I am right now. And in many cases, I thought I would have been. But compared to where we were in 2006, this is an absolute dream. Living in this is an absolute dream. And I remember there was a time around 2017, no, like 2018, because 2017, Lauren and we got married in May 21st, 2017. That's going to be 10 years next year. Holy shite. And I remember it was probably, we had a nice little, tiny little nest egg there from all the wedding gifts and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. It wasn't a Godfather wedding. But I remember before the wedding saying, this is shit or get off the pot. You've got to turn this. Are you going to turn this into a career? A passion turned into a career? Or are you going to put everything you have into it because now it's family time? And you had a lot more leeway from 2006 to 2016 to fiddle around and find your voice and everything else like that. And that's got to go away now. You can have a wife, and God willing, you'll be able to have a child one day. And I remember it was a little freaky, because we were paying the rent and all the other stuff, and it was just about not tapped out of savings, but we were getting close. And it was right around that time in 2018 or so, 2017, 18. About a year after the wedding is when finally it was just like the dropping stopped, and we were able to save a little bit more. And we were covering, I remember realizing the first time that I could cover the phone bill with the Patreon money that's coming in from people. People who like the show, they're coming on and supporting, and I realized I can pay the phone bill. Holy shit. By 2019, I was able to stop personal training, aside from maybe a very select few people that I had been working with for many years at that point. And we had just become friends, and I was invested in their journey and all that stuff. But by 2019, I was ready. I was ready to hit the ground running. And those are little things. I remember it was probably late 2018, early 2019, that I had a moment in bed. I just plopped into bed. Lauren was already asleep, and it was a beautiful night. It was probably sometime in May or June. It wasn't too hot. There was no air conditioners in the room. I just got out of the shower and was in bed. I could feel the ceiling. I can still feel the ceiling fan just kind of like giving me that beach-like breeze. I could feel that breeze. And I was so excited. I thanked God, even though I was really miles away from throwing myself back into building up my faith and practicing my faith again. I was years away from really that being the case. But it was the first time I pat myself on the back for not quitting. Because, damn, I can tell you, some of those meetings at the first studio were painstaking. Me, Anthony, and Mike sitting around wondering how we were going to pay bills that really are laughable as far as how much we owed in overhead. But it doesn't matter if you owe $100. If you don't have it, it might as well be $1,000. Like, you got to get $100 loan, something like that. I know why people open up credit cards out of desperation and suddenly they're $30,000 worth in debt. I understand why that happens. We didn't do that. Oh, actually, no, we did have a business card. We did have a business card that we used very foolishly. I had to put that into, I had to settle that one. I got a consolidation. We put that into like a payment plan. We probably finished paying that off around 2016, something like that. It wasn't a lot, but again, like I said, when you don't have a lot, it's huge. Me, Anthony, and Mike sitting around and just being, I think we actually portrayed this in the Three Kings of New York pilot episode that we put out in 2017 or something like that. It's on the Zaralza, the page. It's under like skits and scripted stuff of us just having meetings saying, what are we doing? I can't tell you how many times between 2007, especially 2009 when we were in our own studio, between 2009 and 2015, where we were like, I'm only extending the lease one more year. Listen, we got one more year to figure this out. I'm only extending the lease one more year. Only one more year. And, every time money came up, the air would just get taken out of the sails. It sucked because you had to pay the rent. And it even came down with Anthony. Anthony didn't kick. Anthony, he couldn't. The night before Anthony went viral, in 2014, it was like March 14th or something like that. The night before he showed up on the front page of Reddit, and the rest was history. We had a gigantic fight. I told you guys this before on the show. Gigantic fight. And it came down to money and, who's kicking in what. And, come on, you listen, we're short $120 or whatever the fuck it is. And it just, that turns into so many other like tangential arguments at that point. And we all say very regrettable things. I remember the day before Anthony went viral, I called him a loser. I said, you're such a fucking loser. So it wasn't all rainbows. And that's why after the fact, it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks after the initial headwind of what was going on with his channel, when he picked up 500,000 subscribers in like mere days. I was alone with him and I said, man, I'm really happy it was you. I'm really happy that you were the one that, in the bottom of the ninth, with 2 outs, you hit the grand slam. That was a big, big boost. Now, we didn't know what the hell we were doing, especially when Anthony went viral. Everybody's running around like a chick with their head cut off, wondering, okay, so how does this monetize? How does this get monetized? We're talking about millions of views here, and we were so cash poor. The thought that any of Anthony's, videos could have at least brought in $10,000 even to save us from destitution was like, we were like, what do we do? And of course, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So probably a lot of really great opportunities, just like ships passing in the night. But it didn't matter. It was such a moral victory, and the landscape had changed 100%. And we just started becoming more and more, believers that we can actually, building a platform and getting some attention for people was actually possible. Because we tried everything we could with the Set the Charge music videos, those music videos with the cover songs that we were doing for so many years, the late nights filming music videos in that studio, and we were working tirelessly. I don't if we were working smart, I don't know, but we were working hard, and we didn't have anybody telling us how to do it, so we just had to with pick and shovel had just to keep swinging. We had to keep swinging the axe until we hit something. And along the way, there's great times. There's confusing shit that happened. There's fires at the studio. There's infestations of one kind of vermin or another. But you do other things there too. You meet really great friends. You meet really great cats. And people that come and go. Oh, every kind of yapper, every kind of bullshit artists you can think about. Anybody that comes in with, hey, listen, here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna come together on a specific project, or we're gonna blow up, and here's an opportunity. You just start realizing that you have to just temper your expectations with everybody. It's been a lot of times we got excited that one person or another showing up at an opportune time meant that this was it. This was the big one. You have to be tempered in that way without losing your optimism and your hope, because it could be the day after. It could be the day after that you quit on yourself, that you would have shown up on the front page of Reddit. Could have been the day after. In our case, it was with Anthony. Nobody quit, but it's just one of those like, okay. Many of those situations. But yeah, that's what I'm really, really grateful for. Really grateful for. Took me a long time to meet a lot of you people, and I know that there's a lot more I'm going to meet. I know that my larger audience is still out there somewhere. There's many people. I don't think there's 8 billion people on this planet, but there's more than enough. There's more than enough Franklies out there who don't even know that they're Franklies yet. All right, caller, you're on the air. Who is this?
Hey, this is Shane.
I can't hear you.
Okay, I'll try to talk a little bit better. Is that better?
Wait. Do you? Oh, wait. Are you driving right now?
I am.
Okay.
I'll do this instead. Better.
Well, I know I don't want you to give up on hands free. That's not safe. But it was very hard.
Trust me, it's Minneapolis. Like, you can run into cars all day long. Nobody will care.
Well, as long as you're safe and you are a pro at what you're doing, I can hear you a lot better now. But go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I have no idea what the call subject was, but yeah, basically just calling in, first time calling in. So yeah.
There is no call subject, actually. I'm just, we talked a little bit about some of the news that might be popping off in the Middle East out there, but I'm just kind of like waxing poetic about the last 20 years, as tonight is a very important anniversary for me. So I don't know. Are there any questions you ever had about the show's origins, perhaps? I don't know. Other than that, you can say whatever you want.
Let me see here. Yeah, no, I guess I don't have a whole lot going on right now. I mean, basically, I've been going through a struggle myself, but that's really about it. Otherwise,
what are you struggling with? What are you struggling with?
Oh no, I just I was working through a job and I got my legs are hurting. I didn't know what was going on with my legs. So next thing I know, my legs are hurting worse and worse. I try to work through my job. Next thing I know, I'm like, hey man, I gotta call in. I'm getting this is like too much. And then they I try to keep on going in, stuff like that. Got basically ended up getting fired because I couldn't keep up with my work schedule. To find out later on that, I had a herniated disc in my back. So losing my job, and then being a dumbass, especially in Minnesota here, not knowing that, hey, like, are you qualified to work right now? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm kind of injured right now. I don't know if I can work. So you don't get unemployment or nothing else. So you're screwed off of everything. And they're like, oh, hey. Yeah.
I have to imagine that is especially frustrating for somebody that lives in Minnesota at this point, when you're out there literally breaking your back at work, and at the same time you're learning about the countless billions of dollars that's flowing through your state in one Ponzi scheme or another that you could really use right now, probably.
Oh yeah, you do. You know a little bit about this. Like I've been driving around, and like my car ended up running out of gas. My gas gauge didn't work, and I'm sitting there like trying to find a gas station around there. Somebody picks me up, and this small young lady, stuff like that. She's cool, and but she's like, oh, why don't you buy a car? Why don't you do this? Like, why don't you do? I'm like, whoa, how the hell do you have this money? how are you able to do all this stuff like no big deal? And you're talking to me like I'm like semi like whatever about trying to do the same thing. It was really annoying.
That's what it comes down to. Why don't you buy a car? Why don't you stop being poor?
Exactly.
Why don't you open up a daycare center? I heard those are very lucrative.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, and they're trying right now to try and give out these what is it? If if you're in trouble because you haven't had clients come through or whatever because of the financial problems, they're giving out tons of money now to anybody that has a small business that needs money to keep up. So right now they're giving out like billions of dollars, or like whatever, I don't know if it's billions of dollars, but they're giving out tons of money to anybody that's saying that they were struggling because of the ice stuff.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah. That's where the relief is there. Well, thank you for the call, sir. And I hope you're back. I hope you get the attention you need. At least you know exactly what the issue is so that you can build yourself back up again. And all the best to you. And I hope you call in again soon.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, I hope that's when it comes down to the discs, especially. Hopefully it's not degenerative where it just kind of like goes from one to the next. But, yeah, imagine that. Call in if you need any kind of support with any of the trauma being caused by ice as they try to, uproot some of the people who shouldn't be here. 413, you're on the air. Go ahead. Who's this?
Hey, Frank. It's Grady from Massachusetts.
Grady, my friend. Good to hear from you. What's up?
Well, as much as I hate this show, I want to wish you a happy 20th anniversary on it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's been you're one of the many people I'm grateful to have met over the years, and I'm glad you found us.
It was wonderful to meet you. I do have a question about the origins of something in a show.
Okay.
The whole pants off thing. I know you haven't been doing it as much, but I'm curious where that came from.
Well, yeah, take off your pants and just realize. Well, that's it. Honestly, it is. It was just a call to action for people to get relaxed. Take your pants off and relax. And yeah, it's really just it's not that crazy. And you're right. I haven't said it in a while. I guess it's just one of those things that stuck around for. What else hasn't been a part of it? Well, I mean, listen, I every evening I would go live. There are certain things that you can just safely leave behind in the past, like when I would sign on and say good evening and go fuck yourself. Every night, yeah, that's one that I had to just like. Out of all the cursing I do, maybe we can drop that one. It got a little bit too predictable.
Yeah, keep it a little more fun.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on Rude Tuesday. You haven't done it. You want a quick joke, and I'll get off the air.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give me a joke.
Okay. Kitties, cover your ears.
Kitties.
What is the difference? Okay. What is the difference between a prostitute and a drug dealer?
I don't know.
Prostitute can wash a crack and resell it. What I'll say tonight.
Oh, that was good. Thank you so much. It's one of those things. We should do that. Rude Tuesday. It's a great concept I came up with. It's going to happen. In fact, I think I still have the 10-second clock over here. And I got away. It doesn't do the beeping anymore. Somebody calls in, you got 10 seconds to say something interesting. And if not, then you know what happens. Where is it? Come on, it should be somewhere. Do I have it on this? Where's the click? Hold on a second. I know Mike. I had Mike and Anthony here, the whole click thing. Or was that on my other? Damn. Oh, here it is.
Click.
I got to start using that more often. That's how Mike would hang up on some really bad calls.
Click.
There you go. See? Anyway, let's take a call. Caller, how are you? Who is this?
This is Captain Wiggled. I'm so sorry for the constant I asked for my Rumble friend.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's just that there's no way for me to answer that. I can't answer that. It's
all good. I just wanted to wish you a happy 20th anniversary. Me and my family love your show, so that's all. I just wanted to say happy anniversary. Thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. And all the best to you. All the best to the boy. Yes. And it's great to have you out there.
Thank you, Frank. Have a good night.
Okay, there you go. There is the obscene Captain Wiggles, who says, "Oh, thank you, Frank, for putting out the best show on the internet. The highlight for me is when you made my son the badass of the day. The Christmas specials are my favorite. I can't wait for all of your shows to come." Me too. Warren Hari, I see you in there too. Just in the general chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Misty, that's Misty. Misty says, happy 20th, Frank. I'm so grateful for you, your art, and your dedication you share with us every day. And hey, May 21st, your wedding anniversary. That's my birthday. I love how much we have in common. There's a lot. Who is this calling me? Hold on, I'll get back to you in a second, Misty. Wife?
Hello?
What are you?
Oh, is this Frank?
Are you serious right now?
Is this Frank?
It is. Who's this?
I don't know. It's just some girl that's, been a fan for a really long time.
Why don't you call me up more often?
I don't know. But I had to call on this momentous occasion because what a career you've made. And yeah, you work so hard and I'm so proud of you.
Well, I love you. I
love you too.
I was telling everybody about my first broadcast and how you didn't appreciate it too much.
Yeah, I had to loosen up a little.
No, you didn't.
No,
it was a really stupid juvenile bit. And we were just, it was so low hanging fruit, a fake orgasm contest. That was ridiculous. But, that was February of 2006. We only had to, I don't know. We broke up that August anyway. So I guess it was just, I was just one strike. Anyway, okay. Aside from that, Laura, is there anything? I mean, you made a wonderful gift for us, a framed gift. You took a picture that you framed a picture of Times Square that you took yourself, and you superimposed a picture of me, Anthony, and Mike onto one of the billboards, and you actually enshrined February 18th, 2006 in there. And it has become, every time I look at that as I walk into the studio, because it's right outside the door of the broadcast studio I'm in. And not only does it keep that date in mind, but it also has become a vision board in and of itself. Now, I never made enough money to go and buy myself a billboard for a day in Times Square. That'll be an awesome day of trolling whenever we're able to afford that. But still, that's one of my fondest memories and relics. Are there any really fond memories that pop out to you first and foremost about the last 20 years of just, that are show related or studio related or anything like that?
Oh man.
Just the first thing that that's the most fond of those, maybe like the first 15 years or so.
I really liked the Matt trial. There was one other one that always sticks out in my mind. I feel like you guys had a psychic on. I don't know if I think it was on CNY, not the AMP show, but you guys had a psychic on. And I just remember she was looking people in the eye. I couldn't make eye contact with her because she was making me so uncomfortable. I had to leave the room.
I was
actually there for that one.
Are you talking about Angela Nicastro?
Oh, maybe it was Angela.
Yeah. Angela Nicastro, she was fantastic. I haven't spoken to her in so long. Angela and Ken. Yeah.
And only uncomfortable because that's, not something I'm typically in the presence of, but that stuck out in my mind. And seeing Aurora just kind of take to things so naturally with you has really been fun to watch. I know that was within the last 5 years, not 15, but and I always love when Tony Black's on.
Yeah, me too.
The Matt trial was a really good time.
When I think about Aurora now, I just I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish she was around for all those years, but then again, because she's asked about it, and I remember being her age and asking about things that happened before I was born, and feeling like I missed out, and I still do feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff. But now we're in a position. Now we're in that kind of position where we make somebody else feel like, damn, I missed out. But she likes saying that she was there because she was peeking through your belly button, that your belly button was her window, she says.
Yes, that was, she's been there for a lot of different things. I didn't realize she's been there peeking through my belly button.
Yeah, she said. Aurora says that she's been looking around a lot, and she was there for all these things that we didn't know that she witnessed, but she was there for them. She saw it. She was looking through the belly button. So
I thought the eyes were the window, but apparently it's the belly button.
the belly button is the window to the soul,
or the outside, apparently.
Yeah, it's a one way. It's a one-way mirror, two-way mirror. I don't know. There's probably something else I can ask you, but I'm forgetting. I didn't expect you to call in. This was a really pleasant surprise. Thank you so much for it.
You're welcome.
Well, I guess I'll see you when I get home.
Okay. And, thank you to the audience, because without you guys, the show would be Frank talking to himself, which he did for a lot of years.
I was going to say, there was nights when me, Anthony, and I think that's where thank you for bringing this up now, because when me and Anthony and Mike go from 2006 to 2010 or so, or whatever the hell it was like that, we learned to have such fun with only a couple of people watching. Like once we were at the studio, in 2009 to about 2014 or so, and there was about 100 or so people who were watching, like dedicated people that were watching every night. We had such a fun time with those people because the 5 years prior to that, before we moved into the studio, there were times between most nights between 2006 and 2009 that Mike and Anthony, we would be talking about something, and I would be taking things very seriously because I'm envisioning that there's a million people out there, and I hear Mike and Anthony giggling about something, and I'm like, what are you guys laughing at? And Mike would say something like, nothing. I just took a peek at the audience numbers. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, what is it? And then Anthony and Mike started laughing maniacally because I know exactly what's coming in. And they would just say, big goose egg. There would be zero. Like we would be an hour and a half into a broadcast and I'm having a great time. And that's when they break the news to me in this like Joker kind of a way that we were talking to just ourselves. That we could have just been in our bedrooms. We could have just been in one bedroom, just having a chat. And I think that's what prepared us for embracing the 100 or so people that were watching us 5 or so years later, and that being the pinnacle of it all. And then when it turned into thousands, when Quite Frankly really became its own thing. Once we started talking about thousands and then tens of thousands. I mean, there was just there was so much gratitude already there. And I got to thank you again, too, because for as much as I work, you have become a wonderful support of, so many administrative things and also just conceptually, you've been a great support. I mean, everybody out there, if you've ever received a letter back from me, if you ever received a postcard, a Polaroid, whatever it is, we do so much mailing. The address was probably written by Lauren. She has written out so many envelopes while I have written out the postcard and address and taken the pictures. And there's just so much there. And of course, the website, which she built and everything else. So thank you, because I'd be lost without you. So thank you.
You're welcome. Least I can do.
All right. Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Love you.
All right. Love you too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya. All right. Well, there's Lauren. That's my wife. And I got to show you something. This is a studio night. I uploaded this today to the Zeralza website, to the actual YouTube. It's called Studio Nights 2014. This is footage taken by Gypsy, our friend Gypsy, one of our partners at the studio for many years. I hope he can call into the show on Saturday night. But this was over the course of 2 nights in 2014. And I found it all in like a random folder. So I'm just taking things, I'm putting them together. This is a 2 minutes and 36 seconds. but it's just random shit from 2014, including when Anthony had, when we were sitting around watching Anthony get some spotlight on CBS New York on the evening news and all that stuff once he went viral, and they sent Tony Aiello over to do a spot with him. And I just slapped this all together. I put it out today. This is a whole bunch of the kind of stuff that I'll be putting out more of. But take a look at this. I love it. It's like the average night over there between those years. There's the beautiful Pyretta, always on her spot of the couch. If you sat down next to her, it was like a reflex. You sat down next to her, she'd look up at you with her beautiful little face and just meow. Almost like, thank you for sitting next to me. Now giving me scratches, being scratching room. Beautiful, beautiful soul right there. Look at that beautiful soul. She was such a good cat.
Yes, I like your little
Sorry.
parts right now.
And it does because it's.
There's Derek.
I have product.
Now that's the war room right there. That's the old war room where we would sit around and have our meetings, smoke our hookah, eat dinner, watch movies. We would project movies onto the wall, and on I gotta find the pictures of this one, but on election night 2012. Election night 2012, this room was jam-packed. Mike May was there with a couple other interns. Everybody had laptops and full-on tower computers that were brought in to make sure that they were pumping out images of states that were being called for either Obama or Mitt Romney or whoever the hell it was. And we were just having a good time, and that was like a newsroom in there. Like the shit that it didn't matter who was watching. It was awesome. Like I was talking to Anthony and Vinny Brusco last night before we went live, because Vinny was there for so many of those years, of course. And we brought up ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC, the three main performing rights organizations, that if you're a radio station or if you're a bar and you own a jukebox, you need to have these performing rights or licenses. You need to have these licenses so that the people who wrote the songs, who own the publishing, are getting paid for the performance of that, no matter where it is. Even if it's being played over the speakers at a shopping mall, somebody's getting paid for that play, and they're getting paid based on an approximate number of how big the audience is. That's what the rates are on. And, here we are, this little rinky-dink operation with so many, we have so little ways of making the overhead, and we kept adding more. Because we wanted to be able to put ASCAP, BMI, CSAC badges on our website. And we actually even logged the music we were playing to send off, like radio stations are supposed to do, to send off periodically to these organizations to just let everybody know who was being played and all that shit. And, it was such an added bullshit. It was such an expense. It was such an expensive energy and all that stuff, but it didn't matter. We wanted to do everything legitimate by the books, so that we're writing this stuff down and all that stuff. Same thing happened on election night where we had these rooms just jam-packed full of people. Another intern that went out to go and get us 50 McDonald's dollar menu cheeseburgers because there was going to be a cheeseburger that was consumed every time one of the 50 states were called for one candidate or another. That is how committed we were. We were going to destroy our bodies. We would completely destroy our bodies for this. Anyway, there's Derek.
Wait, speaks.
Yes, Officer Boynton Campbell.
Guys, let's reflect. Oh, I would love to watch the behind the scenes.
We can do that.
Good. Boynton Campbell.
But what was the very first thing?
Shirtless?
Yeah.
You want to watch shirtless?
I'm down for that.
All right, let's do it.
It's there.
Like I'm about to do to you. And you're gonna taste the fucking ass juice off my cock before I.
Okay, so first of all, you see this right here, this video encoder? That's VidBlaster. That's what we were using until about 2016 or 17 when I finally moved over to OBS. And you know what I realized? VidBlaster was the reason why all of those years, for some of you who have been watching for at least 10 years, you'll remember a time when, Frank had another dropout. Quite frankly, dropped out again. Where sometimes the stream would cut off and restart 3 or 4 times, where I would have to go home. I would have to take fragments of the episode, put them together, republish the video as one piece, and then re-upload to YouTube when I got back home. I cannot tell you over the years how many times I went berserk on sales representatives from either Verizon or techs from Optimum, whatever the hell, whoever the internet service provider was. They would send people out to go up onto the pole, or they would check the modem, the routers. They would say it's coming in from, is there signal disruption? There's no disruption. We're going to add a signal boost to your package, this and that. We would call them up, say, because every time we had a big guest coming on, it was fun because we had a notable guest. We're going to have a couple extra people. It's good for the brand and all that stuff, but it was also one of the scariest things ever, not knowing whether or not we were going to completely squander this opportunity by revealing ourselves to be this Mickey Mouse operation that could not hold a connection to the internet. And we thought that, why is it no matter where we go, the connection problems are following us? It's not possible. It wasn't a poltergeist situation. It was fucking VidBlaster the whole time. This clunky ass video encoder. We had gotten so used to using it. We liked its functionality, but it was so heavy and cumbersome a program. It was dropping everything. It was awful. And I think about all the people that I berated over the years because we're paying so much money, and we just never even considered that it was the VidBlaster. I'm just looking at it again. Hold on. Lauren just said, let me see. What I wanted to add was, the thing is, you guys were going to be sitting around BSing anyway, so it was good that you were trying to make it in a productive broadcasting. You refined your production skills for sure, and then quite frankly became like a purging for you as you dove into all of the rabbit holes. You had to get it out no matter who was listening. Would also love a compilation of all your Optimum freakouts. Well, hold on, I'll show you that. I'll show you a little bit of a reenactment next. But let's go back to this average night. And I don't know what I'm listening to right now. It sounds like a crazy voicemail left by Matt. It sounds like a younger Matt because there's a little bit more energy to it. Listen.
And you're gonna taste the fucking ass juice off my cock before I spray that pork rope into your mouth. You are fucking sick fuck for even letting me say this to you. There's something wrong with you. You're a fucking sick, twisted individual. You're a dreg of society. You should just disappear.
Hey. Frank, what's the... They want to play a song for a friend or email them? I mean, what was that?
That's pretty much what it was like. Yeah, I've had some people had me, they proposed to like women, having me say, hey, will you marry, like stuff like that, like in rock. Or
Anthony's being interviewed by Tony Aiello of CBS right at that point.
Metal style or R&B.
It says he hoped to go viral, but never imagined.
1 million subscribers, less than 8 months' time. It's crazy, I know, it's nuts.
You can imagine creating one of these songs is quite a process. Planning, arranging, recording, and choreographing the split-screen video. It takes about 3 weeks.
You did a good job.
For Halloween, Anthony Vincent covered Thriller. And in 1 week, It has 1.8 million views. A thrill indeed for this man of many voices.
No, it's not. Jason Flom hated it.
Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
What do you think? This is his moment, right?
Love it.
This is his time. The 10-second songs channel is ranked number 885 out of more than 1 million channels on YouTube, so that's pretty darn good. He is making some money, but he also hopes the videos help to promote his rock band, which is known as Set the Charge. I think I got
Set the Charge. Got a shout out on CBS. That was it. That was the day that everything changed for Set the Charge, too. Oh, my gosh. 701, you're on the air. Who dis?
Am I on the air?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Philip from North Dakota.
Philip from North Dakota. Wow, how are you?
Pretty good.
All right. What's up?
Plowing snow right now.
How much snow do you have?
We got about 3 or 4 inches today, but we probably had about 40 or so this winter.
Wow.
Lots of wind.
Wow. Yeah.
Lots of wind, lots of cold.
When does it become unbearable for North Dakota? When does it become unbearable for you guys? And when do you finally come out of the winter? I was just talking about how these last couple of weeks, maybe these next 3 or 4 weeks ahead of us, are a real slog for us in the New York area, where we're just like dreaming of spring, but it's still so gloomy. When do you finally come out of it?
We're like mid-February to mid-March. It's kind of a crapshoot in there, because it could be like last week we were like 50 degrees for like a couple days, and we're starting to see the end of the tunnel, and then we got slammed. We actually didn't. We're in the southern part of the state. They got slammed up north by the Canadian border, and they got like a foot of snow up there, and it's really wet stuff. But we only got about 4 inches here. So,
really?
And then after this little go around of snow gets through here, then it's supposed to start getting warm again. So,
well, okay.
We're almost to the end of it.
Well, thank you for the North Dakota weather update. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, just I heard you're doing your 20-year deal and never called in before, and wanted to be a part of the show, and wanted to wish you a happy 20 years and wish you a happy 20 more.
I know, Phil. I mean, at the end of this, imagine that when you call in on February 18th, 2046. That's the next time you're going to call in.
I hope we're still around.
Me too.
I hope we're still around by then.
It would be an absolute blessing for that. It really would be an absolute blessing. I hope that we all are.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yep.
sir.
Thanks for all your content.
Thank you. And thank you for being a part of it. I mean, that's the whole point. I don't like just doing monologues into the camera. I want to have a talk show here, and I need you guys on for that. I'm going to continue to blitz away on that. Jeannie, you there?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's so good. So good to hear your voice. Of course, I'm very familiar with your screen name, but there you go.
Oh, you're so sweet, Frank. We love you on Twitch.
Twitch
Don't ever give up.
Never. Oh, why would I stop now? I love the Twitch people over there too, and I'm glad that everybody's been able to. Twitch gets a lot of inside access too. I do some streaming with the video games on YouTube from time to time, but I pop on to Twitch a lot to just do a baseball game or something else, and that it's really cozy over there.
It is. We never gave up on you, though.
No, well, good. It's too bad. It's too bad that we had to take a little bit of a break, but I'm glad that we're back, and I'm glad that you guys always honor the memory of people like Albert over there, and that's I think about that all the time after big milestones like this, is the people who aren't with us anymore.
I know you do, but we all want to wish you the best. You had the best 20 years. I've only been with you for 5 years now, but I think you've done a fantastic job. You have a great crew, and you have a beautiful wife that helps you out. That's all that matters.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you know what? I promise you, Jeannie, I'm going to catch you up. I know it's only been 5 years, but I'm going to catch you up, because I'm about to to embark on a really, really deep production project that is going to bring the past alive, and I think that's going to be great just for posterity's sake. And I hope that you enjoy everything I put out there.
Oh, absolutely, Frank. And we're 100% behind you.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Oh, you too, Frank. God bless you, honey.
God bless. She's the best. She's a Yankee fan too. I just got a text message from my uncle. Well, I am going to take a break. We'll be right back. Maybe I'll be able to read this afterwards. I don't know, but it's a good night, and I'll be right back. You guys have a good one. This is a fun one. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'll leave you with a little something to laugh at, okay? Don't go anywhere.
Quite frankly.
February is the worst month of the year, but it's an honest month. It's a month that doesn't hold up life any better than it really is. I mean, look around here. These buildings, they look like they don't even have any lights in them during a work day. And something great happened here, but it's over with. And that's the way February is. You can see it in the way people walk and how they look. Let's go just check out February. This says it all. This has a spring-like or floral pattern on it, but somebody on this February day has abandoned it with its broken shaft, like a desperate flinging off of something that's not true anymore. The expedition is getting desperate. People are throwing things aside.
Look around downtown on a February workday. This looks like a place where people who are being punished are sent. If you notice the way people cross the street in February, it's different than in the summer. Nobody is tap dancing or breaking into a Rodgers and Hammerstein song. It's their lunch hour and they're just barely able to get across the street and hunker over a bowl of chili. Carbohydrates are big this time of year. Also, lotions, because everybody is itchy and tired and irritable. Even the land is tired in February. Most of the birds who can afford it have gone to Florida. And the trees that once cheered us, they're hard to look at this month. It's as if there is some awful truth out there in the trees. It's hiding in the branches. Look at them. Something that's been bothering you for a long time is out there. What is it? You can almost see the shape of it when all the color is gone, when life is stripped down to the starkness of February.
To try to hide the bleakness of February, man invented Valentine's Day and also Mardi Gras. But then February answered back with another holiday, Ash Wednesday. What other month could host a holiday that's designed to remind us that we're all going to die? That's February for you. It is bleak, it is honest, and it just tells you the way it really is. My father used to have a saying that if you can live through February, you'll live another year. With a whole other story, I'm Kevin Killeen.
Quite frankly, contributed to the death of 7 million people because of the funding of gain-of-function experiments in the Wuhan lab.
Yeah, February, that's the way it is. So my uncle says, Frank, 20 years of Quite Frankly, that's incredible. Most people can't stick with a hobby for 6 months. You turned yours into 2 decades run. Either that's passion or you just really love the sound of your own voice. I'll vote passion. Listen, I'll put it to you this way. I don't listen back to the shows. It was the greatest day. Some of the greatest production days of my life is when I brought on a video editor that I really believed in and I knew I could trust. Because then I can just pass timestamps along. I can say, hey, can you go grab that clip? It's relevant and all that stuff. And I didn't have to listen to myself again. Sometimes I say something. Sometimes you get a clip that's just like, okay, the timing was good on that. And it's like, cathartic. Like, oh, yeah, that hit. Okay, that hit. Good. Let me just make sure it's perfect again, though. Let me just hit one more time. And then if it gets some validation from people in the audience, like, all right, great. Like sometimes I'll go out and say, I want to see how that joke hit. Because I want to take note of what the chat room did. And I would go to the chat room replay or something like that, and I'll look at all the things that I couldn't see during the show. Because being here is much like playing the drums. Like when me and Anthony and our bands, whether it be Rotten Pain or Set the Charge, we would go out. I'm so busy back there behind the drums, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I would remember telling Anthony when we were like in high school and college, I'd say, how was the pit for this song or that song? Oh, it was great. I'm like, yeah, tell me it again. Tell me it again. And somebody like, videotape it, because I would just be completely consumed by what was going on. Same thing's over here. I got 3 screens in front of me. Those of you who were at the VIP night, you saw this. Like the Phantom of the Opera back here. But my uncle continues, says, seriously, though, I'm proud of your grit, consistency, and the guts to always say what you think. Here's the 20 years of being, quite frankly, quite frank. Love, Uncle Rob. My Uncle Rob's a stand-up guy. He really is. And the reason why I almost got a little bit overcome with emotion is because for my there's a few things that I remember. I remember really vividly about my confirmation. My confirmation, we would go on these retreats in preparation for the sacraments. And we would go on little retreats. The one place we would go to is Harvest Straw, which I believe is the oldest city in New York, I think. Something like that. I don't know. There's something about Harvest Straw that makes it the oldest something. But we went to West Harvest Straw. And I think that there is actually a shrine there right now, and my good friend Father Pat is actually the head honcho over there. He's been asking me to come by, but I used to go by there every few years when we were in school, in Catholic school, and we go out there if there was a one sacrament or another we were preparing for, and with the confirmation, it was in particular, that was a really amazing day, because toward the end of it, we were brought into a chapel, and everybody was given a little bundle of envelopes, and we were like, "What?" It was. We didn't know what this was, and we got to cut the ribbon of our particular bundle, and each envelope was a card and a note from members of your family. Man. You want to talk about core memories? Like that has become a core memory. The letter that I got from my grandfather in particular, I can almost recite, but I love reading it every few years. It makes me very, very grounded, and it just brings me down to nothing almost. But my Uncle Rob gave me a wonderful letter in there too. And I just remember, you can just tell when something is authentic, and that's what I like. That's what I love about this audience too. It can be really tough, I'll tell you. It can be tough. That's why you talk about politics every night. You can just scream. You can just scream when you get into the human side of things. There's a lot of things that you uncover along the way. The calls that we had, the calls that we've had from people telling stories, people who are sick and are saying goodbye. You carry a lot with you, and sometimes you got to breathe through it. Sometimes it's easier than others. But even a little bit note like that, I got to thank him later. Wonderful thing. Really, really wonderful thing. Here, into the super chats, Paul says, "Hey, Frank, happy 20th. We're truly blessed to have you out there reminding us that there are still some sane and rational people in this inverted world. Thank you for all that you do, and thanks for all the Franklies out there, too." Well, I thank you, Paul. And I always just, my whole thing here is the audience is that very same thing. There's so many amazing. The audience is a reminder that there's a lot of sane, rational, awesome people out there. People who are very different from each other, that are they just renew your faith in mankind. And I think that it's the same thing with every night that I go live. Then I think about, I have the same feeling about when we have a party that I throw. like a Super Bowl party. For example, the Super Bowl party. I'm sure everybody that showed up to my house on Super Bowl Sunday this year did not expect to be joined by, 29 other people. That they probably thought it was going to be a couple of pizzas and, a room of, a handful of people watching a game. And it was just, I can't tell you how many times I just got to take a moment and look at the room. And I can't tell you how many times all the Halloween parties we launched, the spring fling parties that we launched, the jamboree. That is the most important, those most important accomplishments in my life professionally and also socially. To slink back into a corner and look at a party that is self-sustaining. It's self-sustaining party. That there are just people talking to each other, groups that have formed, old friends, people meeting new friends, laughter, libations, all that stuff. And just to know I brought these people together, that feels good. That feels good. I mean, that's something I'll pat myself on the back on for all the time. Because it really doesn't have anything to do with me. It's great to see humanity gather. And thankfully, like moths to a flame, we have a high quality group of people who are here every night. And this is the molten core of it all. 20 years from now, hopefully it'll be 150,000 times bigger. If we have our day in the sun. And that'll be that. That'll be that. These are the times we'll think back to. Thank you. Kel Sue says, I just want to say watching the flip side and seeing the Halloween parties from the past felt so nostalgic and made me wonder if things like that would even be possible these days. I don't know. Around here, I don't know who I can get to come out, especially because of how old everybody is. If it were us that age right now, I think so. I mean, the Jamboree told me that I can throw a Halloween party better than we ever had with people who live hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. If all I did every year was had a Halloween party that I can put on the books at a great venue, and I promoted that, and I'd say, listen, we have 250 tickets we're going to sell. It's going to be a Halloween party. There's going to be 1 or 2 live bands, including Set the Charge. We're going to have Sal the Butcher making, a steak. There's going to be a open bar or whatever the hell it is, and that's it. We would dwarf those parties. September proved a lot to me. This audience they're the goods. So, I mean, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Maybe me and Jay have to go check out a place for a potential June thing, but don't tempt me with bringing back the Halloween parties. Big Fat Albert says, I remember the way back when the show was 1 hour, but Frank, while signing off, would get going on a rant and it would go for another 25 minutes. Albert, I don't remember what your name is back then. Was it Big Fat Albert? Man, 1 hour. That was incredible. When the show was 1 hour, those were amazing nights sometimes because I would get in here. I would do the show from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, especially in June, in May, and June, all throughout the month of June. Oh, wow, that was incredible. Like June 2016, 2017, I think around 17 is when it expanded to 2 hours. 17 or 18. The only reason why this is a 2-hour show is because we hit a funding goal on Patreon. This audience is the reason why I was able to make this a 2-hour show. This audience was the reason why we were able to start adding in Saturday night specials. They were funding goals. That's what's so important about this. And there's so much more I still want to unlock. But I would be able to end the show at 8 o'clock and gather the guys up, and we would go up to the roof and watch the sunset. Because, you had those late sunsets in June, spark a J, and you're just looking at the sunset, and man, what a beautiful, just beautiful, beautiful moments. Great stuff, man. Thank you for that, Big Fat Albert. You brought me back to a nice, warm, elevated point of view. ST says Frank's face when Lauren calls in, priceless. Crystal Queen. Crystal Queen is OG, like King OG, like she's been around since 2007. Crystal Queen. And she does great managerial work for campaign. If you have any campaign that you want to run, you get in touch with me. Crystal Queen, she is self-made. She comes from healthcare, the healthcare world, but she is doing incredible work with putting together political campaigns for people who want to run for local office, for state office, for the House of Representatives. You get in touch with me. I'll actually got to give her a big professional shout out sometime soon, because I know that it's an election year. It's always an election year somewhere. But she says, Frank, you yelling at Anthony from the other room about going on breaks. I have that video. I mean, that's one of the. I'm going to be making a lot of clips, but that's one of the clips that we have preserved on the Zaralza Clips channel. Where's the clips? Hold on a second. Ray Charles popsicle, sucking for pastries. The Red Sox are done. Barack Obama inauguration. Dirty cops. Oh my God, the dirty cops thing. I just added to that. That's horrendous, but whatever. It's funny. Mike calls in on vacation. Frank and Anthony fight again. Here it is. Hold on. Real quick. I mean, there's been so many walk-offs and stuff. That's the other thing. Look, the things that we survived were incredible.
We'll be right back after this.
We're in the middle of a fucking conversation.
What?
Okay, so before the show, Anthony was like, we had a meeting with each other about how we want to take this very seriously. We're going to go on a break every 25 minutes or something like that, a commercial break. We didn't have any sponsors or anything else like that, but we wanted to be able to structure this. We wanted this to be real, okay? Only thing is, Anthony was being so rigid with it in this particular case that he was cutting me off in the middle of a statement so that we can stick to the clock very autistically. And this is awful, but anyway.
I thought we were just it takes 2 seconds to go to break.
Okay, let's go to break. Here's a message from our sponsors.
Okay, we want to know something. I guess when we decide to organize things a little bit more, fuck it. Let's fucking take out all the breaks.
But we were in the middle of a conversation.
And Mike always, whenever Mike is in the middle of this kind of a shit, I mean, he's seen so many fights. He was already exhausted by many years at this point.
Well, you know what? Cut the goddamn conversation short for 2 seconds. Cut the conversation in half.
Why?
Until we return.
Why? We have a message from our sponsors, random YouTube videos.
Christ.
A message from our paid sponsors, random YouTube videos that Mike found.
I don't even know what the fuck he was saying.
Of course he wasn't.
Yeah. Then Anthony says he wasn't even paying attention to me. Shit. What do I now? I just started getting really mad
because I'm paying attention to the 30-minute fucking cuts that we got to make.
Right, because that's what
organized and told ourselves we were going to make.
That's what a good co-host does. He pays attention to the conversation. Right. All right, let's go to break.
Yeah,
King, we'll talk to you. You smart motherfucker. I'll come in there and rip your fucking Lego man ponytail off.
Fine. now we're gonna be tough guys.
Oh, Anthony, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up.
There's gonna be so many things like that I find. Your Lego man ponytail. Oh my gosh. There's gonna be so many things like that I find. I'm really excited about this gargantuan task. It's going to be such a big task for me to, but I don't give a shit. It's going to be so funny. Let me see. Oh, hold on. I have to get through these super chats. Then we'll get back to the calls if we have any time. Mark the Carnivore. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you so much, Mark. It's great to have you out there. Stove says, Jamboree Countdown. Let's go, Frank. I am in. Tempting you. All right. Well, I mean, that's a Halloween thing. We can definitely do a Halloween party. Well, the Halloween party would be awesome. We do a masquerade ball every year. The Quite Frankly masquerade ball. Not like the Eyes Wide Shut kind. But, still. Anyway, thank you, Big Fat Albert. ST, Frank's Face. Crystal Queen, you yelling at Anthony from the other room. Crystal was there for that stuff. Crystal bought some of the first ever Zaralza merchandise. Wart Guy, Paul Wortman says, we are proud of you, Frank, and enjoying the 20th anniversary. Reflections and celebrations. Pink Sales says, Frank, if I could go back 20 years, I would have never went to college. People without degrees are now getting jobs in my field. Total BS. Happy anniversary. Please never stop. I would say that the greatest thing that happened to me in college is that I met the friends that I made, and we were offered that Saturday morning slot on February 18th, 2006 to do our show. I majored in business management. Everything I've done in business since then, I just learned by doing it. You know, you learn by going to the county clerk's office and opening up your DBA LLC. I mean, then LegalZoom opened up. It's like as soon as I graduated, LegalZoom launched their website, and all of a sudden you go there one click and you start a business. And then you just got to file it with the county and give them a couple of newspaper clippings that you're an LLC. You go to Chase, you say you want to open up a business account, and you open up a business account. You learn how to pay taxes. You learn how to write things off. I mean, it just like what? What? Yeah. But I don't regret any of it because look at where we are. Still, I understand what you're saying. People without degrees. That's a complete reversal, by the way, Pink Sales. That's one of the things that I would talk to my mother about. My mother had a very, very amazing career at a reinsurance company, very powerful reinsurance company for decades. And she was able to ride it out for decades at that company, learning the ropes, learning on the job and all that stuff. And she got the job when, you didn't need a degree. You were taught what you needed to do administratively, whatever the hell was going on there, record keeping, all that stuff that she was doing. She didn't have a degree. And as time went on, she witnessed the culture change where, people weren't even given an interview unless they had a BA in one thing or another. And there she was, she told me several times how lucky she was to get in when she did. And now we're kind of starting to see the turnaround because it would be stupid for anybody out there to see how the world is going, to see how resourceful people are, that they're able to teach themselves things on the job, especially when it comes to media and marketing. You can take all of your marketing major shit, shove it right up your ass. You're going to marketing and advertising school? Good. Shove it so far up your ass. It doesn't matter anymore. Big time corporations are digging into high schools, looking for any 14, 15, 16-year-old that understands TikTok, understands Instagram, anybody who's anybody. Who has I can't tell you how many amazing channels on Instagram right now. Some channels that are thriving. There are like local businesses, local real estate businesses I've seen that are thriving on TikTok and Instagram just on a content basis because the owner of the local real estate business asked their nephew or their niece, listen, can you help me make some content to advertise my business, and turn them into the most insane, surreal kind of videos, like the humor. We're talking about getting deep into the young Gen Z lore, editing styles and all that other stuff. I mean, forget about it. I'm sure there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to need to crunch the numbers and tell you what's feasible and be able to project price points and everything else. And I know you're going to need some of that stuff to some degree, but we're coming to a point where, if you are not able to actually see talent, if you know what kind of talent the world is being driven on economically right now, if you're going to deny working with somebody or deny giving somebody a chance at employment because they don't have a fucking degree, you're out of your mind. It's actually so one of the greatest things that's happening right now. There's a major realignment going on right now when it comes to work and what that means. And I'm happy for it because there's one of the greatest ways that millennials and Gen Z have been absolutely screwed out of a future they always thought was just waiting for them was that pipeline through college. That pipeline through college that saddles you with so much paralyzing debt. And the work and the nature of work itself is just changing completely. You know? So I like how resourceful we're getting. That's another reason why, you know, I don't know, especially with new media, it's a really wonderful thing. I like it. All right, Joe Martinez, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Jay Boogie says $20 for your 20th anniversary, and here's 20 more. You're fantastic. Thank you. Frogs in the Pot says, thank you for all these awesome years of great content, uplifting times. Keep up the amazing work. Happiness is only real when shared. I'm with you. Jeannie Yankee fan says, happy 20th. Over there on Twitch. Love the Twitch. Jay Britt says, happy 20th to Zeralza, quite frankly. We did that before. Flim Flam Man left me speechless. Okay. Back to Misty. Thank you again to your May 21st birthday, Misty. All the best to you. She comes from a great line, great crop, that Misty. I got to meet her on the Jamboree. She's related to everybody. Everybody. Whole family came, whole family tree. Corey, Jay, thank you. Andrea, I'll get around to that all on the flip side of things. Let's get into some super chats. Some other things here. Oh, Anthony and Frank fight again. We did that. Hold on. I should at least give you a couple of reels, right? I want to do one thing. There's this new format, like a meme format, that I love. You guys remember the Lowe's worker who was almost crushed by that box of patio furniture? He just didn't have the upper body strength to hold it up, and he was freaking out. He's now become an inspiration to people who are working out on Instagram. And the format is follow this way. Whenever I'm close to failure, I think of him.
Please, I'm begging you. I can't. The machine's not moving.
I love what he says. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Here's another one. Hold on. Here's another one. There it is again. When I'm close to failure.
Please, I'm begging you. I can't. The machine's not moving.
It's great. Oh man. Here's one more for you. This is a I got to tell you, this is the use of AI that I approve of. I approve of the little guy using AI to make points, mimetic points, and here's one of them.
Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this shit.
The Dow is over 50,000 right now.
I'll tell you, that's scarier than the shark. That's scarier than the shark right there. One of the worst deflections ever. Okay, here's one more for you. I was talking about you wake up in the 90s in your childhood bed. The last 28 years was all a bad dream. Take a look. Oh, the surge. Everybody loved surge. Then we found out that it killed your sperm.
On your
Oh my gosh, the Pogs, the Nintendo, the PlayStation 1. Yeah, okay, well, what would you do? I mean, I guess it's just easy. You know, there's only so many things you can do. The pragmatist would say, I'd go out and say, I would go buy stocks. I'd buy real estate. I'd buy this or that. I'd get ready for the crypto boom. I'll tell you exactly what would happen if I woke up tomorrow morning and it was 1998 again. I would first cry in relief. First, I would cry in relief. And I would throw up. And then after I finished throwing up, I would throw up again. I'd probably throw up a few times. And then the relief would turn to absolute panic for a couple of reasons. Because then the weight of everything would become very clear to me. Number one, I'd be afraid to open up the door. Because obviously I got to go visit everybody. I have to go visit everybody. And that would be great. That would be awesome. You know, your grandparents, your cousins and uncles and aunts, everybody who's gone, or maybe just to hang out with your parents as they were when they were my age right now. I don't know. But once that wears off, the biggest thing right there is I can't answer these questions anymore because as much as an amazing thing that would be, I would be desperate to get back to Aurora. That's why this stuff is just, it's a trap. This stuff is a trap. So I see it a lot. I understand. And it's good to try to pick through it because you try to understand what aspects of the past you want to revive and keep alive and make contact with again. But golden age thinking is very, very destructive. Very destructive. I like doing nostalgia nights like anybody else. But golden age thinking will fucking harm you. It really will. It really will. Obviously, a lot of people would live their life completely differently. I really think that this scenario is only a good scenario you can play with if you don't have kids. Because then you start thinking about the technicality of that stuff. Like, holy shit. If all of a sudden I'm back in 1998, this is going to be very, very crude. So children, close your ears. Uncle Frank has to say something before we move on to something else here. You would have, are they gone? Get the hell out. Come on, go, scoot. All right, here we go. So come back in a second. You'd have to imagine, like we're talking about decades, a couple of decades worth of blown, you blow a load. Like if you're a guy, I mean, women, you just have those eggs that are ready to shoot out. Like, I don't know what kind of order. Like if you guys, I don't know if your eggs, ladies, I'm talking to you. If your eggs are almost like in a hopper, like if they're in a specific order, like was Aurora's egg always going to be there in late December of 2019 waiting for a suitor? You know? Or is there luck of the draw with the egg as well? I don't know about that. Like I think about coffee beans being put into a hopper where it comes down and it just grinds up and you got your coffee, whatever. Like, is that the way it is with your eggs, ladies? I don't know. Like, are they in order? Or is it like a gumball machine? Ladies, are your eggs like a gumball machine? Like they're in order? Let me see in the chat room. Let's see. They are, Frank? They're in order? I don't know. It's like a gumball machine. Okay. So then it's not actually in order. Luck of the draw. But it's even worse for guys because you think about sperm production and all that. And we're getting really into the biology here, why this would be, you'd be so desperate. Like, it's not just like, okay, well, all I have to do is wait for December of 2019 again and then just try to conceive. Like, no. You didn't just shoot one sperm out. It wasn't one little swimmer that came out and said, go get her. No. I mean, that was a lottery in and of itself. And I don't remember, if I had, I don't know what the hell I had done the day before. If I had cleaned the chamber, that changes everything. Who knows? You've jerked off the day before that you got your wife pregnant or something like that happened. Who the hell knows what happened? You had a wet dream. If that didn't happen, then there's a whole different batch of baby yous that could be formulated. It wouldn't be the same child. Like, you cannot, once you have a child, you can't play these games anymore. You can't play these games. You can't play those games anymore because it's never going to be exactly them. Yes, I wish that I had not been so, dragging my feet for so many years, and I would have wifed up Lauren sooner and gotten serious sooner, and we had 7 kids right now. I absolutely. But I would not go back to get the 7. I would take Aurora. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure you guys feel the same way too. Yeah, sure. Having 4, 5, 6 kids would have been great. But nope. That's fine. Maybe, who knows what happens from here on in. But that's that. All right, here. One more thing here. I want to play this for you because I thought it was really interesting. Somebody brought it to my attention, and it's true. The last scene of The Godfather, and if I can give you guys one pitch to become a sponsor tonight, one quick pitch, as if, hey, you can trust me. I'm working my ass off. Took me 20 years to get here, and I want to go somewhere else with you now. But if there's anything else, it's just, there's so many reasons to sponsor the show, but just the film club watch parties we have coming up this year alone. Now, this is subject to change, but this is what I have already put up. In March, I want to watch Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2 with you. You guys are going to love this one. In April, I'm thinking that we're going to watch Fatso, Dom DeLuise. We're going to watch Fatso, and we're going to watch Moonstruck. In May, I'd like to watch As Good as It Gets, and I'd like to watch Constantine. In June, we're going to, read Huckleberry Finn. But in July, I'm thinking a Bronx Tale. I don't know what else. Maybe a comedy. Maybe The Birdcage. In August, we're watching Terminator 1 and 2. Especially because Skynet becomes activated in the month of August, 1997. So in August, we're definitely watching Terminator 1 and 2 together. October, we're going to be reading Shutter Island together. November, we're watching Godfather 1 and 2. Okay? We're watching Godfather 1 and 2. Now, it was brought to my attention, Frank, the last scene of The Godfather 2, when Michael, he's thinking back to the last time he and to a time that he and all of his brothers were together in one room around the dinner table. It's before 1, where he tells all of his brothers that he enlisted in the Marines and he's going to go fight in the war. And of course, Sonny hates it. Why are you going to risk your life for people you don't know? What the fuck are you doing over there? Anyway, he's sitting there with James Caan and Robert Duvall. And it's just it's one of those, it's the order in which everybody leaves. hold on a second. I want to get this. I want to get this up for you because I'm pretty sure John Cazale is the. Yeah, he is. Okay, so he's there with James Caan and Robert Duvall, who just passed away at 95, and the first one who gets up is, of course, John Cazale, who plays Freddy. And what somebody told me is that everybody leaves at the dinner table in the order that they have died in real life. And I just want to watch this with you for a little bit because it's really incredible scene. This is how it ends. And at this point, Michael has just been completely turned into a monster. And that young, idealistic boy is now the head of the family. And he's done unthinkable things. And he has completely lost his soul. He's lost Kay. He's it's really bad. And here now he's thinking back to a simpler time. It's just a wonderful way to end.
Nice. Break your father's heart on his birthday.
That's swell, Mike. Congratulations.
That's right. Encourage. Go on, give me a drink. Go on.
So John Cazale leaves.
You gotta understand that your father has plans for you. Now, many times, he and I have talked about your future.
Talk to my father about my future. My future.
Mikey, he has high hopes for you.
Well, I have my own plans for my future.
Once you go to college, you get stupid. You're really stupid.
He's here, come on.
Come on. Come on. Stupid.
And now Vito comes home, but Michael stays alone. I love this shot. This is an incredible shot. Yeah, man. That's just it's just incredible shot. And you think about the passage of time. So I bring it up, of course, because that's just another one, passage of time. We're going to do a lot more of this. A lot more of this in the flip side. And I thank you for spending some time with me tonight. Tomorrow, I should have some friends in studio. I might have Matt in studio. If we have Matt in studio, my buddy Christian is coming by tomorrow. If we can get Matt in studio tomorrow, maybe I can play some of the trial. I'd have to go and look for it, though. I wonder when that would be. But it's going to be nice. Eli P. says, I'm proud to be a Frankly since 2015. Damn. We do got a lot of OGs out there. Two Dogs Mike D. says, happy anniversary, Frank. You've been an amazing aggregate for so many different subjects and personalities over the years. I'm still in contact with several people I met at the Jamboree. Thank you, and Lauren, so much for everything that you do. Mike, thank you. And you're one of the chief memories I have of that Jamboree. Mike and King 40 walking around the streets of my hometown together late into the night thinking, wow, it's almost like this is Franklyville. All those fantasies about, having enough money to go and buy an abandoned town and just having people go and populate it from the show and just turn it into our own little thing. It was almost like that for a weekend. But, Lauren says, we are born with all of our eggs. So all of wait. We are born with all of our eggs. So all of Aurora's eggs were actually in me. So Aurora was in me when I was in my mom. Yeah, but wait a second. Oh, yes. That's fucking nuts. That's crazy. Damn. This is also nuts. What we are. What the hell are we? It's really just it's miraculous. It's so miraculous. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you again. And we'll be here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. But for tonight, it's not going to stop there. We're actually going to go over to the flip side. And I'm going to be dropping into the chat room the link for those of you who want to just do a little bit more with me, it would be wonderful to have your company. So come to the flip side, space. Boom. All right, guys and gals, thank you so much. It was a wonderful anniversary. I'm glad I got to spend it with you. But remember, Saturday night is really going to be a little bit more of a full-throated celebration because I'll have the guys here if there's no snow, and hopefully some of them tomorrow night. Who knows? We'll see. But thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you. Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience, and our super chatters are now too long to list. Mike D, Eli P, Mark the Carnivore, Stowe Stew, Paul, Kelly Sue, Big Fat Albert, ST, Crystal Queen, Wart Guy, Pink Sales, Joe Martinez, Jay Boogie, Frogs in the Pot, Genie Yankee Fan, Jay Britch, Shotzi, Katie Sky to kick it all off today. Thank you, Katie, for kicking it all off. And then, of course, over on our other side, we've got Miss D, we've got Captain Wiggles a couple of times, Jay Semo, and man, oh man, who else? I can't even see it because of the pinned message. Unpin, and Captain Wiggles again. Well, your gold pill's coming up next. Thank you guys so much. All the best.
Goodbye.
All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Will you shut up?
Meow.